to this shopping center one day. It was a bright sunny day, and it was an elderly woman waiting for me. And I saw that, and I pulled to the side, and I got up to open the door for her, right? I don't do that too often, but I said, look, yeah, she's elderly, and I saw her name was Ivy.
Okay.
So I let her in the back seat. She got in, real soft-spoken, nice. I jumped back in the front. I said, oh, Ivy, that's a beautiful name. She says, hey, you have a handsome name. I'm like, okay. So I kind of felt the connection. I always feel like that. You know, by the way, every time someone gets in, I offer them these amenities, which is the phone chargers.
Yeah.
I have water. I have bubble gum and all that in the back. All that, and lifesavers and stuff. Anyway, we got to talking, and I started, I felt a connection. I started talking about my acting, right? I like talking about acting, right? Because that's what I do. And so she was interested. She said, well, tell me something, son. How do you manage to stay going when there's so much rejection in this industry, right? And I told him, well, for me, and I do stage, film, and anything in between. And that means even for free sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But I said stage for me is you know, it's not as lucrative financially, but listen, it's easy to get, and I'm in a few theater groups, right? That you can you don't have to audition, you can just get in. Anyway, I was telling her live stage does a lot for me. It can, it's real life, and it frees me, and I enjoy it. And my rent cheap, so yeah. So look, starting off for real. So I was telling about that. This is what happened. I said, you know what? The past 6 years has been the absolute best in my life. And she said, how so? I said, well, I learned, and I had to learn it. Not because I'm so brilliant or anything like that. I learned how to see a bright side to everything. And then I went on to reiterate. I said, now, everything in that 6 years wasn't peaches and cream.
Right.
And I gave her an example. I said, my dear old dad passed away, and I love him dearly. I was adopted, by the way. We'll get into that another day.
Yeah. Because I know everybody's like, where's this accent
I was adopted by a black father, a wonderful black man named Charles Taylor, and he had passed away on Martin Luther King's birthday, 2014. And I told her that, and she said, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, no, it's not a sad story.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I see a bright side to everything. I said, listen to this. Dear old dad lived to be to the ripe age of 86 years old.
Oh, wow.
And he lived 58 of those years with the love of his life, my mother.
Right.
He was a happy, prosperous man. He reminded me of a black Dick Van Dyke.
Does he?
You know Dick Van Dyke?
Yeah.
Van Dyke, the Dick Van Dyke Show?
Yeah.
Always happy-go-lucky, diplomat, don't fight nobody, ain't got time for that, funny.
Yeah.
That's my dad, right? A black Dick Van Dyke. At any rate, I was telling her all of this, and do you recall what I just said, the years I mentioned?
Yeah.
So I was telling her this, and when I finished, right, it was way more dramatic than that. And then I looked in the mirror, and I noticed that it moved her. And so I stopped talking, and she started to talking softly. She said, well, Anthony, my father passed away last year also. And he happened to be 86 years old. And he was married to my mother for 58 years, right? I'm like, well, hold on. Did you hear what you just said? I'm like, first of all, I ain't gonna lie to you. My mind says, stop lying. Stop your old ass lying.
I know, right?
Look, and I still don't know for sure though, right? But look, she was saying it with such passion that I can't help but to believe her, right?
Okay.
But listen to this, that ain't it, right? So I'm like, do you realize what you said? She said, yes. The exact same thing you told me.
Oh my God.
And then guess what I said? I was moved by it. Now we driving.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking her to the Hollywood Hills. Have you been to the Hollywood Hills? Man, it's a winding road. Look, but it's exciting, right?
Yeah.
So guess what? After that little conversation, because it took a while, she happened to live at the tip top.
Oh God.
But
really?
look, no, it's great because we had more time to talk. She said, by the way, I'm an actor too. I'm like, how so? She said, do you know the show Baskets?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that show.
Yeah. Look, she said that she plays. How you say his name, Galifianakis?
Yeah.
She plays his grandmother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
I'm telling you, his grandmother. I'm like, that was hard to believe too, right? But look, listen, I took her word for it right then.
Yeah.
But you know, later on I had to look it up.
Right.
But at that time, I was like, what? I'm like, I did background on that show before, right? And look, you know, background is like the bottom of the totem pole, right? Look, I ain't even, it's embarrassing to even talk about it. But I'm in the union, I joined the union, so I get paid. Anyway, I was like, what? She said, yeah. I'm like, so she said, yeah, I'm Ivy Jones. Right, I'm like, so that's why I remember her name, right?
Okay.
So, well, we driving up to her home in the winding hills, and we like way up in the hills, right?
God.
And matter of fact, her at the last tip top of the hill, it was like almost straight, it seemed. And I'm like, she said, could you go up there? I said, yeah. I'm like, look, if you ain't scared, I ain't scared. Yeah. So I took all the way up to the top, and yeah, I jumped off the car, and I want to tell a lie, but I ain't gonna do it. I'm just joking. Anyway, I jumped out the car, I let her out, and I said, can I have the honor of shaking your hand, right?
Yeah.
And she said, of course, right? And then it was a beautiful, beautiful home, right?
I'm sure it was.
Huge doors, it was great. Yeah, and you know, to me, that's my go-to story. I mean, for me, in my mind, because, you know what I mean, it was a connection there. Then I looked her up, and she do live stage. She sing.
Oh.
She got a Facebook page and everything.
Oh, wow.
She don't, look, but I guess she kind of old. She don't even have she ain't IMD Pro. she ain't got no picture up there.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right. I don't even think they know about that. But anyway, I mean, I got other stories, but I don't have any like horror stories.
Really? Okay.
You know, I picked up a girl one time. She was drunk and she was embarrassed. Her friends was like, didn't want to help her in the car, and I let them have it. Like, look, y'all friends, y'all don't even want to go home with her. She drunk. How y'all, you know what I mean? And like, well, we trust you. How you know? You don't even know
You know me, yeah.
Like, you always see, you know, these in the stories in the news and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I told her she needed to probably rethink her friends. Anyway.
I know, that's right.
Yeah.
How has Uber treated you? How has it helped you? Would you recommend that people get this, you know, do this job? Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Before I started, of course, I went on YouTube. That's how I found you.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was you. You the one told.